is a pain in the butt. You hit your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to the greatest week of the year. That is right, the Masters tournament has come round. Augusta is looking resplendent in April sunshine as Georgia prepares to welcome the very best golfers in the world for the first major of the year. Traditionally, this is where the golf season begins, and I am so excited to be finally at this point. Boys, how are we feeling about this momentous week?
Oh my, it's here. I cannot wait. It's so exciting.
Oh, it's so good. So good. I had 19% recovery last night and I'm still excited.
Just dreaming. Well, not even dreaming. You're up thinking about the Masters.
Like this. It's happening. It's here.
It's now just a long wait to Thursday now, isn't it?
Is this like, it's like the build up to Christmas for golfers, isn't it?
It's basically the same.
Yeah, Christmas comes twice a year for golfers. Augusta and Christmas.
And official Christmas.
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do, to see you through those long evenings before action finally kicks off on Thursday. I suppose we do have some action beforehand. We've got the drive, chip and putt. We've got the Masters par 3 competition. We've got all those little things that really make this week super duper exciting. But yeah, let's be honest, Thursday, That is when we are sat around the front of the TV. Kieran, you stayed very quiet. You just don't like the Masters, do you?
Yeah, no, I'm just staying quiet. I'm staying quiet.
Okay. Perfect for this podcast.
Letting you guys go.
Do you guys watch the par 3 competition?
No.
Caught a bit of it, but only because, there's the stories of people's sons and daughters playing together. Brothers caddying for brothers and all that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff. It kind of does build a little bit.
Yeah, there's some nice stories there. I've watched it a few times, but it's not what you want, is it?
To be honest, I stopped watching it when Tony Finau dislocated his ankle. That was like
what? That was
horrendous. That was horrible.
Not to be 30 seconds into the podcast and bring up betting, but I had a bet on Tony Finau to win that year.
To break his ankle? That's amazing. How did you do that?
That was very good, that. So when that happened, I was quite disappointed. But I think he actually finished top 10. I think he had a really good week.
Yeah, did. I think he was leading after the first round or something stupid.
So Tony, for you,
if you do want to put some money on him, make sure that he has potentially a career-threatening injury prior to teeing up in the first round. And also prior to the first round and prior to the tournament even beginning, we should point out that this podcast is being shown on our main YouTube channel. This is the Peter Finch Golf channel. Normally, these videos are uploaded to the Rough Cut Golf channel. If you haven't subscribed to that already, make sure that you hop over at the end of this and hit that subscribe. There is a huge giveaway which is going to be happening at 10,000 subscribers. We are not far off that number, so make sure you hop over there and give it a subscribe. If you are listening to this in the audio version of the podcast, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Also, on our socials this week, Peter Finch Golf on all your favourite social media platforms, we are doing some huge giveaways. We've got FootJoy scripting, we've got wedges, and we've got special edition drivers flying out of the door for you guys. So make sure you hop over there if you haven't already.
Particularly excited about one of those drivers. The one we got at the last minute.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
No, the one we meticulously planned for.
I'm sorry.
Months in the making.
We knew,
on,
of course, that we were going to have access to that specific golf club, and here it is, and you can win it.
We've got a chance to create our own narrative here. Okay, we don't need to let everybody else in to how unorganised it all is.
I'm so sorry.
Jeez, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's good though. It's good. It's building even more hype that we're giving away a load of fun stuff over the course of the week. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean it is that week, isn't it? I mean, I think throughout the winter and throughout kind of early year in the UK, it's been a little bit of a drag, really, weather-wise. Courses haven't been in good condition, and it really is this point in the year where everybody starts to get really excited.
Yeah.
So, certainly in like Northern Europe, I know. Across the States, it's a little bit more playable year-round, especially towards the south. But for us and for me, this is where, certainly when I was a kid,
This is the time of year when the the greens start to firm up.
Yeah.
Start of the summer sports.
Yeah,
We had a bit of a euphoric golfing moment on Sunday, didn't we? Of like, we all went to go play together. We had some other friends as well that came and joined. There were 7 of us. And it was just that moment after we were sat all having a pint. We'd finished 18 holes, all in the sun.
So good.
Some people wearing shorts. And it was just such a nice, like, right, we're here now. We're into it.
It was,
and the Masters is next week.
Oh, my God. I barely contain myself.
Were you wearing shorts, Karen?
I wasn't
He
wearing
wasn't.
shorts.
No, really?
Yeah, my mate Pat does. He wears shorts even in the winter. So he's like.
Well, you're usually the shorts man.
Yeah, well, I've got shorts on today, so it should.
Was
start
that the
from
day
now.
for you? Did that kind of make it like
it's like it needs to be like another couple of degrees more, and then
right?
it's,
The
then it's
shorts didn't sort of
every
come
day.
to the top of the pile.
No, but
So
they're
there.
They're very near.
Do you
Very,
like
very near.
pack the trousers into a suitcase and like shove them under the
Yeah,
bed
they're
for
on
the
the.
summer?
They're like
They're on the way out.
It burns them annually.
Yeah.
It's,
No, he doesn't burn them. He just very good. He just cuts them into shorts.
I've done that before.
when the clocks go forward, the scissors come out.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
We were talking about the joy of summer golf. I'm looking forward to not having to like prop my wedge up as if you take a wedge and a putter to the green.
Oh, right,
I don't
and-
want to have to prop my wedge up in case the grip gets wet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when you know. That's
Yeah,
when
you
you
can
know
just
this.
chuck it on the floor,
Just
yeah.
love it. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah,
Nice and dry.
You just need a caddy in
Yeah.
a beautiful white boiler suit. That's what you need.
Yeah. Well, look,
Just
these
like those
guys
this
aren't
week.
going to be worrying about that, are they?
No, they won't.
No, yeah, carried 16 clubs to the green with them.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be 5, 6, or 7, so I'll just bring all of them.
Get all of them.
I'll bring all of them.
Leave the rest in the car.
Yeah. Imagine it was cart path only.
There ain't no car path at Augusta.
There's not.
No.
There are not.
Beautifully mowed roads.
I watched like like behind the scenes by a guy who used to be a superintendent or is a superintendent at Augusta. The amount of work that grounds team do to get it looking so nice, just wild.
Yeah.
They said that there were the mowers like drive in a line down the fairways, and they want the fairways, the grain towards the golfers,
Yep.
and the rough, the grain away from the golfers.
Yep.
And they're cutting the fairways, and one of the mowers has a transmission leak, and it like leaks transmission fluid down the fairway, and there's this big like horrible line, and the grass like dies within a week if you leave it. So between that mowing happening and the next group coming through, they dug it all out and replanted new grass, and the group that came through didn't notice.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's mad.
There you go. I mean, it leaked by accident, right?
Yeah,
the way you were saying that was
Yeah,
like,
it's
it
like
was
a
planned.
preset. Yeah.
No.
Is that this year or is it like a couple of years
I
ago?
can't remember. It was on that video, but
That's cool.
just shows how much hard work
Oh.
goes into making it look as good as it does.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that they do really well is because everybody knows Augusta is like the pinnacle of perfection as far as what you're looking for in a golf course.
Yeah.
Like every golf club and type of golf course has its own charm. Like if you contrast that to say the Open is at its best when it's a bit like burnt out and it's
Yeah.
a bit rough and rugged, whereas Augusta is just perfection. So what they tend to do is they tend to get so many volunteer greenkeepers come to them each year. So they've got an absolute army to go out and make the course as perfect as possible.
You'd need it, wouldn't you, for the level of perfection
Yeah.
they're going for?
I mean, even if it's not absolutely perfect, like I remember a few years ago, the Masters that Zach Johnson won, can't remember the year, it'd been a really cold start to the year and none of the azaleas or anything were coming out. So they went round with like lamps to try and get them out just in
cool.
time. And like painting grass that's not green enough. They do everything. There's no stone or blade of grass unturned. It is, it's an incredible place. And that's why it just looks so good. That's why it inspires so many people.
The other thing they said is they had at the landing zones in the fairways and short of the greens, they have divot teams, which are like between 6 and 10 people. So who go out
hole?
and on each hole
All right.
and dig the divot and replace not fill it in like you would at a normal, but they literally cut out that bit of grass and like relay a brand new bit and roll it and water it.
Love it.
That's absurd.
mad.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd. But the work pays off because the course looks great.
Yeah, it pays off for Augusta, and then every greenkeeper across the world is dreading the week after, because everybody watches the Masters, turns up to the golf club, saying, "Well, why doesn't our club look like Augusta?
Bit
These aren't
bobbly.
running 13 on the stint. What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on? Why can't we do that?" Fair enough. Anyway,
Do we think this is Rory's year?
I hope it's
Do you
Rory's
think
year.
finally it's going to be Rory's year?
I hope it is. I don't don't think it is, though.
Really?
No.
Are you trying to play some
some mind games,
some spiritual
Yes.
mind games with yourself and therefore with Rory?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Every single year I go in and I say it's going to be his year. So I'm changing I'm just going to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. I want it to happen so badly.
Yeah.
I want it to happen so badly.
Rory's not going to have a great first round, and he's not going to shoot 78 on the third day, and he's not going to shoot 65 on the last day because he's going to win it, obviously.
I think the issue with Rory is obviously as fans and as fans of Rory, we all want him to do it. He is obviously desperate to do it, and he has been for the last decade because it is. Everybody says it each year, but you can't get away from the fact that Augusta National, if you were to design a golf course that Rory should win around, it's basically Augusta.
Yeah.
He should absolutely smash it every year, and he's come close. But you can tell prior to previous Masters how he's talked through he's changing mindset pretty much every year. He's gone into it thinking, this year I'm going to tell myself I can win it. It doesn't win. Next year, I'm going to go in relaxed. I'm not thinking about winning.
He's just
doesn't win it.
That one didn't work. That one didn't work.
You can tell he's just trying everything to try and get over the line with it. And he's coming into this Masters probably in the best form
That's
that
what I
he's
was
been
about
in.
to say, yeah. He's got the best form, 100%
Yeah.
this year.
We were driving down to London to film some stuff a few days ago, and we were talking through how many actual legitimate chances to win the Masters you think he has left?
I mean,
so how old is he now?
so he's early
30s?
30s. I think he's 32, 33 now.
Okay.
But
And what's the oldest that someone has been to win it?
well, Jack Nicholson was 46.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson won it.
Jack Nicholson has definitely not won the Masters. Jack Nicholson was 46. But I don't know. I don't think Rory, by his own admission, is probably not going to be playing that long.
Right.
And the way that he swings it,
Yeah.
is that an action that's going to last?
So say he has, say there's 10 available Masters.
Yeah, I'd say
to him,
10's a decent number.
and then one or two of those, someone will come out of nowhere and just shoot the lights out. So that's those 2 out. So he's got 8 left, and then he's got 8 opportunities to play the best round of golf.
Yeah. The Masters, any golf event is going to be very, very hard to win for any player. There's so many good golfers out there now, but he should win one. That's the thing. We're saying that he should win one. He should win multiple Masters.
Yeah,
he should be walking away with three green jackets at the end of his career. Then I think if he does win one, I don't imagine that others wouldn't follow quite quickly.
Right, okay.
Once he gets over that hoodoo. But
Floodgate situation.
But he has got a lot of pressure on himself, and he puts a lot of pressure on himself anyway. You know what I mean? It's he just needs to just go in with it and just play his game how he's been playing the start of this year and just enjoy it.
Coach Kieran.
Exactly, just enjoy it. I remember watching
Just enjoy yourself, Rory.
I remember watching that 2011 one, that final round on the back nine. I was just like,
Yeah,
I
that
remember,
was
literally
horrible.
remember it. I was like,
That was
Very
horrible
sad.
to watch.
it was horrible.
Who else is in with a shout, do you reckon? Scottie?
Scotty's
You can't
Scotty's
not
favourite.
say his name, can you, really?
He's got to be favourite, hasn't he?
Scotty is definitely favourite for this.
I think, defending the Masters isn't something which is done very often. So that has to be a point made. And he's shown, I think, over the last year just how consistent he is, but also, he's not unbeatable.
Right.
He does have the ability to make a golf tournament quite boring if he wants to. Or if he wants to, he can do.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of good players up there at the same time. But I do agree with Jacob in some ways that if he is on form and he is playing well, he is one of those golfers, kind of similar to, I think, a little bit like Rory, a little bit like Rahm. If he's on his best game, he can blow everyone else away.
Yeah.
And if he does that again at Augusta, like last year, that final round, it was a bit boring in some respects.
Yeah.
So hopefully it can be a bit tighter.
Were people hoping that Cam Smith would just sneak it on the line, and that would be a bit of more interesting story than Scheffler just winning it?
No, I think it was more.
It's the emotion.
Yeah.
For me. He just does have.
I don't really ever want to be able to see someone like 4-whack it on the last green to win a green jacket. Like it's just not kind of what you want to see.
It's that and that he just has no like his face stays exactly the same the whole way. Like he has no.
It doesn't move.
He has no emotion, you know. And,
Do you think
but that's his coping mechanism, and it works. But it's just not fun.
Do you think he's a robot?
A robot. He could be. He could be.
Scottie Mark 1.
He could be.
It is. It's like I always say with Dustin Johnson as well. Like he's an amazing golfer, has all the attributes to be a really exciting player, but I just don't feel anything when he plays. Yeah, because he's just so chilled. Like he manages to just rise above all the pressure. And even though we know from Scottie in his interviews, like internally he's a bit up and down at times. He does like keep this facade on the outside. Yeah. But to be honest, like what annoys me more about it is that I actually really like him like as a guy. Yeah. He just seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So you can't like hate against him, but you do want it to be a bit closer. And Augusta is an issue. It has an issue in some respects of when people make a charge at Augusta, the back nine especially, unless someone has a disaster, it can almost give a bit of a false impression of the tournament being closer than it is.
Right.
Because most people birdie 13, most people birdie 15.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
and 16 really on that pin on Sunday.
So all of a sudden it's like, Spieth's just come back and he's level with the leaders now, but then those leaders still have those holes to play.
He's a good shout, actually.
Well,
yes.
I mean, what is
Spieth?
What is the fact on Spieth?
So he's won the last 2 Easter weekends back to back last year. So he won the Texas, and then I think it might have been the Valspar or something like that, or the Arnold Palmer. So anyway, the last 2 years he's won Easter weekend.
On Easter weekend.
It's been Easter weekend.
Easter weekend this weekend is this weekend for the Masters.
Right.
So.
And he has quite good form
around
this golf course.
That's the thing. Things are starting to fall back into place for him a little bit. He's got some good form, and he's got the nice, whatever you want to call it, the nice feelings of Easter weekends that he can build upon, I suppose.
It's like a yearly cycle of success.
Yeah.
And then just bitter disappointment for the rest of the year.
I think just in anything, like, mentality and having that extra little bit of confidence to know it's so silly really, but to be like, I've won on this weekend and this time of the year 2 years in a row. I could only imagine for me that must make myself feel better going into a tournament.
Do you think it's easier to win around that course if you have already won around that course?
I mean, it's gonna add to it 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he has had a meltdown around that course as well, so potentially that could play in his mind. But I think we all know from talking about people hiding their emotions and showing their emotions. At least we know what Jordan Spieth will be thinking as he plays.
Yeah, he's the anti-Scottie, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to let us know exactly what his mood is like. But he is definitely a player that can come through, and it is that thing. If you are playing well, and you feel those good memories starting to flow, it makes a huge difference. Like we saw this yesterday at the Valspar, like Corey Connors coming through and winning again for the second time at Valspar, the Valero Texas Open. So he's won twice at that tournament. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Yeah. Every time I go to Marsden Park, I just I feel like I can light it up.
I was literally just about to say, do you think next time you go to Marsden Park you shoot the lights out?
I just won't be able to stop shooting birdies.
So talking of repeat winners, someone who in the lead up to the tournament has flown weirdly enough under the radar is Mr. Eldrick Tiger Woods. Mm-hmm. What are we thinking? Because last year, lovely. It was like a lot of attention on him for coming back.
Last year was crazy.
Dude, he wasn't even in contention, and the main coverage was his group.
Mm-hmm. Before we'd even got to the property, people were tracking his plane to see if he was coming or not. Like
he actually did. He had a good round, good first round.
Yeah, like he played really, really well. Yeah. But like, do you think that we were saying just before he does look a little bit stronger? He looks
well. He looks really well in himself, and like he doesn't look as much in pain. That's the main thing. Is that like you see him at like St Andrews and Augusta as well. He was in pain that day, so hopefully he can get back to it.
I think the thing with him from now on is always going to be, can he put 4 days of golf together on that body? That's the problem.
Yeah, it's not.
He can look fine
golf
for a day.
Yeah.
and then if that leg starts to get a little bit
Do you know
weaker,
what?
and even if the back starts to go
it's
a
not
bit,
the golf. I don't think the golf is the problem. I think that he can do that. It's just whether the body is actually going to hold up.
Do you reckon they could put him out really early Thursday and Friday?
Well, no, he'll do like they'll do like an early and a late,
And then he'll make the cut,
Yeah.
and then put him out really late on
For-
Saturday and
for
Sunday,
him, I was
just
trying
to
to
give him enough time.
Yeah, for him, like, because obviously he does all of his.
You know how golf tournaments work.
Yeah, no,
right?
no. Yeah, but listen,
Would you like a mulligan there,
but
Mr.
like-
Woods?
so-
let him go out early. Let him drive
Yeah.
a car. Let him.
But for like for Tiger, like obviously he does all of his ice baths and everything, all his recovery and physio. The best thing for him, the metric would be an early and a late, wouldn't it? Because he can, get early for the first day,
Yeah.
have a recovery, and then have an all day to rest on the Thursday.
Can they stick another day of the week in there, like a Friday plus?
Yeah, literally.
Tiger Day.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see when he starts, because I think with the later tee times he'll struggle more because he finishes later and he just hasn't got that time. So we'll see what the tee times are. I don't know who he'll be playing with as well. To be
No,
fair.
not sure yet. It needs to be warm.
Warm as well,
It
yeah.
needs to be hot for him.
We're
because-
definitely helping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do focus obviously a lot on his leg because that is the most recent injury. But you
His
just
back
need to
as well, yeah.
go up his body to find
Yeah,
more,
something
more
wrong.
issues.
Yeah.
And it is the warmth that will kind of help his back from seizing. And it is the thing. Everyone, I think, just wants him to make the cut.
Yeah.
And his experience around that golf course, he knows exactly where to hit it. He knows exactly what to do. And he still has the game to do that.
Yeah.
It's just if the rest of his body can keep up with him.
It's the bits between the shots he has to worry about.
Yeah.
Hitting the golf ball is not a problem for him. We've seen that. It's, walking the 280 yards, he's just hit it to go and get it
Yeah.
again. That's his
But
problem.
Augusta it doesn't help that Augusta is like very hilly as well.
Well, this is
isn't
it. It's something that isn't quite shown on the telly as much as you realise. And as someone who's been, Pete, you can sort of speak to that, I suppose, that it's actually a lot more undulating than you realise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
When did you go?
2018, I got Patrick Reed.
I've got Patrick Reed. Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
it.
say it's
I
not,
missed Tiger by a year.
it's not the best year to go.
Yeah, it was a.
You
know
still
what?
got to experience it.
Still got to experience it, and it was obviously it's great for Patrick Reed. It was the galleries weren't overly impressed.
Okay.
It was quite a muted winning atmosphere.
They're like,
it
oh,
has
is
to
that
be
the leading?
said.
Is that the leading group? Oh.
It was pretty strange. I'm sure we'll get all into that. In a moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think one person that we're all agreed on,
100%.
that is going to have a challenge is Jason Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Jason Day.
I had a really good segue. Can I do it?
Hit me.
Going from Tiger Day to Jason Day.
Wow, that's not bad.
Not bad,
That's
not
not. It's not too bad, and it's on the fly as well. Because we just said Tiger Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to come.
That's a good thing.
That wasn't
Yeah,
pre-planned.
That's pretty good. That's
Top
pretty
of the
good.
dome, that one.
He is playing very consistent golf.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it around Augusta. He's an amazing putter, and he seems to be injury free.
And like happy as well. He's enjoying his golf. That's the main thing as well.
Yeah.
He's. I saw an interview the other day that he is like loving it at the moment.
Sick.
Yeah. What? I literally saw an interview. He did an interview with like, was it PG Tour podcast or something like that? And I watched it, and he was like, "I'm just so happy on the golf course."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good.
You know,
Makes a massive difference.
Exactly.
If you were miserable, you'd
Exactly.
You know.
We're just in the right frame. I feel like he's in the right frame of mind, and probably knows that this is probably in the last couple of years probably his best chance to be up there. I don't think he'll go in thinking he can win it, but I think that he's going to be just playing his game. And he's going to be good.
Interesting.
I think he's got. I think he's got.
I think he's got. Yeah. Oh no, I think he's got a chance as well. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's definitely been our kind of
Jason Day. Yeah.
We've been saying
been on
it
him
for
for
a few
bit, haven't
weeks.
we?
Yeah, we've planted our flag in, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Come on,
Yeah.
So this victory lap is going to be humongous if
Yeah.
he wins.
If he wins it, you heard it here.
I put another couple of quid onto it as well. So.
Yeah, you didn't hear it here first. You heard it only here.
Yeah.
Jason, if you're watching, good luck, and
Good luck,
we'll
mate.
welcome you on the podcast afterwards.
I hope he sees this. I hope he watches all the other episodes that episode we're on now? 15?
Something like that.
All the other 14 episodes we've been talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So hopefully.
Come on, Jace. You said Justin Rose.
Yeah, you know what? If you want,
That's a bit rogue for me.
if you want an outside bet, we are talking someone who's almost won the Masters before.
Almost.
He has come into some good form this year. He's already won. He does love the course. He's got all the attributes, and he's one of those players like I always think about this, like Lee Westwood. Like he could come into the Masters with very little form, and after the first few days, he's always in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter what happens, the ball just seems to go in the hole to get him into the top 5. So I think this year Justin Rose. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he's going to be a top 10.
He's he won this year as well, didn't he? Won
Yeah, Pebble Beach.
Yeah, Pebble Beach. Yeah.
Do we think it's going to be extremely interesting when the kind of the LIV and PGA players kind of get together to
I'm
fight it out on the practice range?
I'm so excited to see him play. Like weirdly enough, I'm so excited to see them play again. Like all together.
We spoke about this the other day, and I was looking through the bets and through the field and seeing who was going, and it was actually just quite nice to see all these names back together again.
A full field, like this is like the strongest field.
But they are obviously they're coming off the recent LIV event in Orlando, I believe.
Yes, and who won that?
Don't know who won that, Kieran.
I don't think anyone won. It was a tie.
Brooks Koepka.
Yes.
I don't
We'll
think.
do this.
I don't think the tournament's finished. They've only played 3 rounds.
Have they?
Yeah, they got.
Who made the cut?
Hey.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah, I think
That was actually
yeah, you're welcome.
It took me about
You're welcome.
3 or 4
You're
seconds.
You're
to
welcome,
clock
everybody.
it. Yeah, very good.
I'm here all Masters week. So I think it feels a little bit. So I think Liv's gone through like this little bit of a loop where the players left, made a few reasons for going, which probably weren't that kind of accurate. You know,
Money.
everybody went for the money,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to say that.
More money and less golf.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gone through that. Then it kind of got a little bit more, not exactly apologetic, but a little bit more like, oh, you know, we're here, we're trying to make it work, we're enjoying ourselves. And it seems to have gone to the point now where all the LIV players who are going to the Masters are like, we want to prove a point. Like, we want to show that we are still some of the best golfers in the world. Because that's the whole narrative, you know, joking about 54 holes, joking about all these things about how you go play on LIV and you'll become a less competitive golfer when compared to everybody else who stayed on PGA Tour or DP World Tour, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think a few of the people like Joaquin Neiman, he's been out, he said this, and there's a few other players like Cam Smith as well, who are really kind of making a point to say, we are going to be there and we are going to be challenging.
Yeah.
I think DJ and Cam are probably the 2 antagonists, or is that the right word? Antagonists?
It's a great
That's a good
If
word,
you
strong
want them
word.
to be,
Is that a good word?
You
Good
swallowed
word.
a dictionary.
Yes, come on. I'd say that those 2 are the big ones, aren't they? If you were to pick two people, with Brooks coming in now with a bit of form, so
The problem that
interesting.
I've got with them at the minute is that it's all well and good them wanting to be seen as the best players in the world, but then they've also not really been doing it in the LIV events either. And
Apart from Brooks.
well, obviously this week's a slightly different.
Yeah,
but
but
prior to that, he was really struggling.
Right,
Bryson DeChambeau really struggling. I think Cam Smith's had 1 or 2 top 20s in all the LIV events he's played.
yeah.
It's all right to think you're some of the best players in the world, but then you know.
Gotta
When
prove it.
And no disrespect to Danny Lee and no disrespect to Charles Howell III, but like that's not, well, for LIV case anyway, that's the winners they don't want to be seeing. They want to see these guys winning.
Yeah.
And these guys haven't been. But obviously, this little extra now of coming to the Masters, you're back against the boys that you used to play with. They are going to want to show themselves up. And it would not surprise me at all if Cam Smith is up there at the end of the week.
Cam Smith DJ is like,
Think about it like this. If we were making a YouTube video and they said, right, you don't need to put in as much effort anymore and it'll still be 300,000 views, would you still put in the same amount of effort? No. Those LIV guys are...
what
What are you talking about?
well, of course we would.
I think the moral of the story is the more effort you put in, the more rewards you're going to get.
Exactly.
100%.
But they're getting the reward, which is the money, and not necessarily having to play or practice as hard as they would have done on the PGA Tour or the European Tour.
I mean, let's be honest about it. Let's be fair about it as well. We don't actually know
No, that's true, that's
how
true.
hard they work. We don't really know, and
We're about to find out.
exactly. And we've not really watched much of LIV anyway, if anything. So we don't really know the in-depth knowledge of how they've been playing. But I personally want to see their best players going up against the best PGA DP World Tour players.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be a great narrative. I think the fans there would probably feel that energy a little bit more as well, and certainly the players will be wanting to win for their respective tours. So, and I think Greg Norman, I mean, every time he speaks, he strikes me as a bit more of a tool. But something
That was a very
Hot take.
that was
something that he says, I think would be again a great bit for them and a great bit of trolling would be like if a LIV player wins, he says every single LIV player in the Masters will be at the last green to welcome
you
them
imagine?
home.
Oh, that's so sick.
So there is that. Do
Do you reckon they're going to wear all their like team kits and stuff?
That
I
would
think
be
so.
that
you
would
think?
be
Yeah.
so cool.
I think so.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Knocking out in
no.
Majestics.
Do you actually really?
Yeah, team smash, mate.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the range goats are going to be
I
absolutely
I didn't even
murking it.
think about that.
No.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
I don't love that, to be honest.
I don't love that.
I mean, that's the whole. That's one of the things that they're trying to push, and there's going to be no restrictions on what logos you can wear.
But couldn't like the Masters or Augusta kind of have any sort of input on that? Or?
Not really, because what you'd be saying there is saying, okay, you can't wear something with range goats on. What they're actually doing is setting a precedent there, is saying, well, we are not going to allow certain sponsors to have their logos on shirts.
Yeah.
And
Got to be very careful with that kind of thing.
yeah,
haven't they?
exactly. I don't think that is a wise way to
I'm
go.
actually pretty sure. Didn't Patrick Reed wear his LIV
The
stuff
LIV
last
hat,
year?
yeah.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
With their logo on the collar and
Yeah.
the logo on the hat.
God, yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. I think probably out of all those players, I think for me, probably Joachim Neiman. I think he's had some really good. I think he's had some good finishes at Augusta, if memory serves me
It
right.
wasn't he?
And
wasn't,
Brooks as well.
wasn't he in the final group last year, Neiman?
Don't know.
Can we have a Brooks
Brooks-
counter?
I say, well, I mean,
Today.
I'm just stating facts. Like Brooks in the last couple of years has been like at Augusta very well in majors in general has been very, very good. And
Facts. I'm
he's-
just
he's-
stating facts.
Yeah, literally, I'm just he is a. If you were to put anyone
Last year
to
he
be-
didn't do very well.
No, last year he didn't, but the year
No,
before he did.
I mean, stay tuned for why Kieran is getting so excited about Brooks. We'll get into this in a moment. Oh dear.
So you went in 2018. You're the reason that we may seem a little bit distracted right now is because Murph is in the studio.
Yeah, my dog's under the table.
Murph was asleep.
If you see us all looking around, he's just woken up and now he's walking around causing trouble. You went in 2018. As the only one of us who has walked that grass, talk to us about what it's going to be like. Like hype it up a little bit more as if it needs it.
we want to know some things.
Yeah,
about it.
we want to know
yeah.
food. I want to know like what it's like getting in there. How often did you get searched? Like, did anyone get kicked out? Like, I want to know all the stuff. Talk us through it.
So when I went 2018 and we stayed nearby in a house. The first thing which was quite weird is we got like a little minibus. We parked about, I don't know, maybe like a mile away. Because actually to get into the car parks and all the rest of it, as you might expect, is really busy around the property.
Yeah.
So we pulled in like a mile away. The first thing we did, we had to like leave all our phones in the minibus. Like, it was like we're all like spies and we didn't want to be tracked. So like we're getting all our phones out. Yeah, chucking the SIM cards out the window. So we left them all. Then we walked up there, and the entrance that we went in, if you imagine the front of like a theme park.
Yes.
So it's like loads and loads of different turnstiles, like in a slightly curved shape. Mm-hmm. We all walked up there with our tickets. Well, we had like lanyards and we walked in there. And the first thing that really struck me is the staff there were unbelievably friendly.
Oh.
They were so nice.
That's good.
Like it just like we went in there just straight away. I was like, this is just like really nice.
That's also like a theme park. When you go to Legoland or whatever, they're always like, "Oh my god, welcome!"
Yeah,
You're like, I just want to go on the Dragon Coaster.
Yeah.
Will you?
It did have that
Such a dad.
feeling. It did have that feeling of when you got past the turnstiles, everyone like just sped up, just a touch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
like just
sure.
walked a little bit quicker. Like, oh, I want to get in. I want to
Spring
get
in
in.
a step.
And then like we walked in like through just this quite a wide road, obviously used for cars normally. And then like the white building started to appear, like a little putting green to the left. And you like caught a glimpse of the range. Went straight past the shop, which is unbelievably massive, and we'll get into that in a second as well. But you go past that, clubhouse is on the left, and then all of a sudden it kind of like just opens up you've got clubhouse on the left, like the 18th green a little bit to the left as well, and the first tee is kind of there, so that's shooting off to the right, and the whole property like just almost like opens up before you. If you've been to like an old English country house and they've got all the grounds like sloped and laid out, it looks like that.
Like
looks like a
walled gardens and
it looks like a massively perfectly manicured park. Is the best way, with sandpits.
Yeah,
is the best way.
with a lot of sandpits.
Is the best way of describing it. And I was prepared because everyone who says when you go there you will not be able to understand how slopey it is from watching on TV. It's like so slopey, so slopey. So I went in there and I was kind of prepared. I thought, yeah, it's slopey, but it's not like scary slopey.
Yeah.
The holes that really did catch me out though are the 10th and the 18th.
Yeah.
So the 10th,
Oh,
dog leg down to the right hand side.
Yeah.
Down to the left hand side, should I say. It is so downhill. It's like a black ski run.
Wow.
And it just slopes huge.
But then it goes really uphill. Doesn't it?
It kind of levels out at the bottom.
Right.
It kind of levels out at the bottom. So it's got a fantastic design feature. I don't know what this design feature is called, but it goes down to the left hand side, and then there's this huge, massive bunker which is bang in the middle of the fairway. But it's actually a long way short of the green. But when you look at it from the fairway, it looks like it's right on the front of the green.
So deceptive, isn't it?
It's like this optical illusion. There must be
like
a design feature.
Depth of field sort of thing.
And I imagine what that does is like players start to think that's really close. That's going to be a problem for me. Then you have to like rethink all your decisions.
What's the second like as well? Because that one for me is like I never quite understand how downhill that one is.
It is downhill. That probably wasn't quite as striking.
Right.
It is a bit, but it's more the tee shot that's tough there.
For
It's like
me,
a tough right to left.
Yeah, that on TV looks really downhill. So I don't know how
What's the 11th like with that second shot? Because everyone always talks about it. It's like above your feet and things like that.
It's also the one where the guy goes and I don't know who the commentator dude is who goes out and like talks through. This is where
Ken on the course.
Ken on the course.
Yeah, this is where the ball's going to land, and this is the shot that we're playing, and you can see them like all gripping down clubs and
Yeah, I mean, you can see how it would be a bit twitchy if you're going in there with the pin bead to the left. But the bailout area on the right is
massive,
gigantic. Yeah. And it's, to be honest, a lot of the courses like that. Like you get on some tees and you think, you know what, it's not a difficult tee shot. It's so wide open and the rough is not thick at all. Yeah, but they don't rely on that as a defense.
Right, yeah.
It's the greens.
It's the greens and the approaches, and the whole place is just so perfectly manicured. And Amen Corner is
talk about 12. That's my favorite.
Yeah, you know what? 12 is probably the most beautiful, intimidating tee shot.
Hold on, let me just
wait.
let me just work that out in my head.
So you go on there, and I was kind of stood like pretty much next to the tee, and I was looking at it, and it's like 140 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it thinking, this isn't. This shouldn't be that hard.
This is an 8-iron. This is
on a Sunday.
It's like
easy 8 or a 9 or a.
You can see there's a bunker shorts, a bunker along there. It's a narrow green,
right?
But even like when they stick the pin on the right, the one that you can't go for,
the hard one,
the one where everyone hits the bank and goes in the water. I was looking at it and thinking, I could
just fade one in.
I could just hit a little.
I could birdie this.
I could hit a little cut in there. But that is literally the whole point.
Just tempts you, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's
the whole course is so tempting.
It's the whole point of that course. It's the fact that whole point of that hole, should I say, is that it looks so innocuous.
Yeah.
But for the top players,
Great
obviously
word.
with all the water short,
Great word.
You know, it for a top player, you know, he shouldn't be that tricky being that short.
It's wild how many people hit the water.
Yeah, and I think with that little pocket, because the wind does swirl around there, because it's banked on either side by massively tall pines, but it's got these little avenues where the wind kind of funnels down. So the wind kind of switches in direction, and you get above the trees, it's a bit stronger, and then all of a sudden you got the pressure of like the event on the line. Oh, I'm one behind. Oh, that pin. looks tempting. Try and fade it, don't quite catch it, hits the bank, comes back, walk off there with an 8, you're in tears. You go home, you quit golf, and you end up working in a petrol station. That is what that hole can do to you.
That reminds me so much of like the Tiger Woods game, maybe like 05 or something like that. And it could even be the last time Augusta was like licensed in a game. And on the 12th hole, the wind would just turn the compass at the bottom. Really? It would just spin round and round. So obviously when you play the other holes, it's like, wind's off the right, wind's off the left. On the 12th, it just spins. So you hit it at any point.
I think you can get that on the Nintendo Wii. That might be the closest I'll ever get to playing that course.
They've got it in the new 2K23 one as well.
Yeah. There was a little event previously.
Yeah.
That's coming out like this week or next week.
Something like that. Yeah. I spent Saturday night. I made my mate a curry and some saffron rice, and we sat down and watched this guy play 18 holes at Augusta. It was the weirdest thing ever, but I was getting into the spirit.
This is the weird. How do you text someone to ask them to come to that?
Yeah. I said, "Do you want to?"
Mate, you fancy going around having a curry and watching some guy play a few go? Yeah, of course.
I made quite a nice curry as well. It was quite nice.
I'm sure it was.
Rice sounds absolutely lovely.
Yeah. So you talk about people getting their phones taken off them.
Yeah. So just to be good, when you say about leaving your phones, that's because there isn't any phones allowed on property.
Yeah. So if you were to go to that front gate with your phone, they basically got lockers there.
Right. Okay.
And they'll search you. So you just can't take any recording devices in there.
What about some cameras?
You can take it in. You can take it in on the practice days, though, can't you?
Take it on the practice days, but as soon as tournament days start, you can't. And that's mad. It's quite strange. Like there was quite a few.
It's quite therapeutic, I think.
Yeah, I quite like that. I do quite like it.
Great idea.
Nah.
No.
Yeah. So 2 things to say. It is very disconcerting, certainly for me, who have spent the last decade of my life on my phone, for it not to be in my pocket or not to be in my hand. I was checking my pockets every 4 steps because it
on a
didn't
golf
feel
course.
right. Yeah, it just didn't feel right. Like, where's my phone? So that was the first thing to say. Second thing is it does free you up to look around a little bit more and to talk to other people. You know, talking to new people, social situations isn't my thing, but
weirdly enough,
but it's not something I'm very good at. But because it's in America, it's full of Americans, and they will literally talk to anybody. Yeah. So starting a conversation is not difficult, and you can just chat for hours. It's for me is one of the best things about being in the States because I don't have to start conversations. Everyone else does.
I'm a big advocate for the no phones thing.
Yeah, I like it.
They've started doing it at like comedy shows and gigs where it's like, that's fine, bring your phone to the venue. But they like lock them up in bags and you get a token, and then at the end you get to go back and get your phone so that you're actually there enjoying the show and not trying to capture it for your Instagram or for whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice when you do watch the highlights or watch the golf and like everyone is watching and not like behind their phones. Yeah. That is nice. It's slightly tricky if you're trying to keep up with the action. So you do have leaderboards around.
Yeah.
And you do hear, it's a cliche, but you hear the roars kind of coming through the trees. So you know if something cool's happened.
So cool.
That sounds so good.
So then you're like looking at the scoreboard trying to find out what's gone on. It does lose that little bit though, because you do want a little bit more info.
I wonder if they, you know, the Augusta National Golf Club have done some things which have kept up with technology in the past, i.e. made the course slightly longer because they know players are hitting it further now. I wonder if their next technological advancement is like some sort of tablet that you can hire, which doesn't have a camera on it, but will show you maybe highlights, leaderboard, map, you know, kind of make it a bit more interactive.
If my memory serves me right, you can get the Augusta radio thing.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be, that's not a bad idea.
Or just grow up and let's film there. Just like, do you want to just...
guys.
Just go and like...
grow up. Come on, Augusta, grow up.
Real hot take.
I want an 18-hole course vlog.
So did anyone try and sneak anything in then?
No, it wasn't worth it.
You literally just get kicked out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Banned?
Well, you'd get stopped, you get it taken off you, and then they'd probably let you through. I only saw one guy get kicked out. That was on the Sunday. We'd managed to get... One of the good things about Augusta is, like, if you get one of the chairs, if you wherever you set it up on the golf course, if you leave it, like, no one will touch it. If you basically...
That's wild.
So on the Sunday, we managed to get down to the 16th green pretty early. Like, it was already quite full, but we got our chairs positioned just behind the front right bunker. So we had a good view of the tee, and we could see the shots coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got them all down there. We got there at like 2:00 in the morning, something stupid. But we plonked them down, and
And there were people there.
yeah,
With beers.
The rest of the green was full. So we put our business cards in the back of the chair.
Okay, I was going to say, like, how do you tell? Yeah.
Business card back of chair, wandered off, and then when we came back to it, when we wanted to sit there, they were just there still.
That's so amazing.
Great.
And that is genuinely like really
So
cool.
reserving your sunbed, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Put your
Down
towel
early,
down.
put your towel
and
down,
everything,
Go out early before the buffet breakfast.
But that is
Yeah.
annoying, though, at times, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is annoying.
We did have our beach towels to actually wear as well.
Oh right, yeah.
So what do you think of Augusta when you think of it? You think of it green, you think of it warm, you think of it sunny. It was freezing when we went. The actual sun was warm, but there was like really cold little breeze. And I just went in there with like shorts and a t-shirt and like a light top. I didn't think.
Oh, I'm in.
That bad, yeah.
I'm in the kind of middle of America.
Yeah.
In the middle of. Yeah,
getting
it's
towards the
like, you don't
summer.
think that it's going to be cold.
No. So we were all freezing. So it was me, it was Seb on golf, and me and my golf boys.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, what do we wear? Because it's freezing. Like we're freezing to death. So we went up to the shop.
Do you sell any puffer jackets?
Well, they sell everything. So we went in, got me a little.
Oh yeah, just to
Masters
say
hoodie.
that Pete, if you're listening, Pete is wearing his beautiful Masters
Can I also
branded
confirm
hoodie.
that like
Stash.
you can only buy branded Master stuff at the Masters?
Yeah, it's the only place you can get
So
it.
that's the only place you can buy it.
Yeah.
That's-
So
I like that.
people
I like
just
that.
lose their minds in there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
admittedly,
Is it?
I lost my
I was about
mind.
to say, is it
as well.
expensive?
Expensive.
It is so expensive.
Yeah.
Because I wandered around there with my little basket,
Yeah.
big basket, and I was just going around and just pulling stuff off the shelves, like mugs and ball markers and dartboards and like stuff that I'm never ever gonna need.
Dartboard is so good.
Honestly, they were
Tell
that.
you what, a Masters dartboard would look very nice in here somewhere. I think.
They were.
You should have bought your Masters. You should have bought your Masters mug in. It's a nice yellow
Yeah,
mug.
it's true. I've
innit?
got a Masters mug.
Yeah.
The one things I've got left, I've got a Masters mug, got this hoodie, and I got a t-shirt, which is proper battered now. But it was a bit embarrassing actually because I was in the queue to the till.
You realise you're about to spend 500 quid on a
Yeah.
dartboard.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. I was in the till and I was looking down at this basket, and I was like, "There's probably about £2,000 worth of stuff in it."
No way.
And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I can't afford this, but is it worth it? So I'm looking down. I'm getting near the front of the queue. I'm looking down. I'm getting near the front of the queue. I'm like, do you need these coasters? And I'm like, probably not. Do you need this bottle? Probably not. So anyway, I ended up dipping out, like got rid of half the stuff. But I reckon I'd probably dropped near £1,000 in there.
Wow.
Wow.
Lord.
Oh, it's stuff. I got stuff for like my dad and all the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
We'll just
But
get
You
stuff.
would
Still.
do. You would do, wouldn't you? Like,
That's very
it's
cool.
you're in a kind of fortuitous situation where that might not be the last time you go to Augusta, but for most people to buy that ticket and to go, it's a once in a lifetime thing. You
Yeah.
have to rinse it, don't you, while you're there?
But that's the only thing that is expensive as well, isn't it? Because the food stuff is actually quite cheap, isn't it? And the beer.
Yeah. The actual concessions are incredibly well priced.
Yeah,
That's
which is
amazing.
good. Yeah.
That was the reason why I got the towel, because it was the cheapest
The
thing
cheapest
that I could
warm
wrap
item.
around.
That's so cool.
we all got one. So me, Seb, me and my golf, we all got one of these beach towels, and we just wore them like sarongs, like all day.
And there's a photo of that available somewhere.
And then when we sat down, we like put them across our legs because we had shorts on like little old men.
You're so cool.
I know, I thought so. But the actual concessions and the prices, they were it was like $2 for like a egg sandwich.
So good.
Hot take, pimento cheese sandwich, not
good.
very good.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got to be honest, I was very disappointed.
Okay.
I mean, for our American listeners here, this is not meant as a point of insult, but Americans don't do cheese that well.
I agree.
It's a differentiating factor. I think the US pretty much has everything better than UK, apart from cheese. It's the one thing we've got.
We've got cheddar.
We've got cheddar and
Double
Wensleydale.
Gloucester.
we've got good cheese and we've got dairy milk chocolate.
cheese
That's basically what we've got. And Heinz baked beans.
Yeah.
That's the one plus we have. So to actually, these like $2 egg sandwiches, like a barbecue pork one, and this peach ice cream, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then they had this local IPA beer that was like $3 for a pint.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
good
what we
because-
want.
That's so good because we went.
Good Lord, that sounds good.
Well, when we went to the Scottsdale one, it was like, how much was it for a pint? It was like $10 a pint, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It wasn't even a pint. It was the
It's-
Coors Light bottles.
It was like USPGA. I think last year was like $15 for a bit.
Yeah, I remember
And
that. I remember that.
It makes such a massive difference to the fan experience when you know you're going there, you're having a drink, and you're being ripped off.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, yeah.
worst.
It's like a
thing.
little bit bitter, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing that says that we do not want you here apart from to take your money. It's
Yeah.
charging 15 quid for fizzy water.
But maybe
Completely agree.
that's why the tickets to the Masters are so difficult to get, because it's the only place in the world you can get a pint that good for that cheap.
Yeah.
It makes a difference though. Like if you're gonna if you treat your fans
Yeah.
with respect,
That welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
you
Not this like corporate kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
probably what the Masters isn't. Is the Masters is a great as a brand is brilliant, but they know that and they respect the fans and everything like that. Whereas you go to like TPC Scottsdale and it's like it's corporate, isn't it?
They're trying
know
to
what I mean?
sell you
It's
the
like-
experience.
Yeah, yes, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
people need to take a leaf out of their book.
So I mean, yeah, it does make a big difference, and they have a good financial resource to draw upon, being who they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes a massive difference. It was the only guy I saw chucked out though. He'd obviously had a few too many beers,
Too many bevies.
but he didn't. So we're down by the 16th, and everyone's like really well behaved. It's quite a respectful atmosphere.
Dude, of course they are.
Yeah, it was a good shot. You go crazy, but it's a nice atmosphere. And this guy, it's not like he did a lot wrong. He was kind of like stood off to my right, and he dipped under the rope, and he kind of did like, one of those where you're trying to avoid being noticed, so you crouch down a little bit, and you walk like a bit of a hunchback.
You went into like sneak mode.
Yeah, it's like a quick hunchback walk, like right across the front of the rope, and then ducked under, like to my left. But because everyone was so well behaved, and no one would ever go on the inside of the rope,
Yeah, don't go in there.
everyone like looked at him like he'd like he'd streaked, like he'd done something
Wow.
unbelievably bad. And then like one of the security guards was like, "Excuse me." Obviously, it wasn't Northern. But
You're right, kid.
It was like, "Excuse me, mate.
This is
I don't
Augusta
muck out.
National here,
Can't
lad."
do that, pal."
Listen, our kid.
This is up bloody Augusta here now.
Yeah. You're not on Barnsley High Street now. So he pulled him off, said, "Can you come with me, please, sir?"
No.
So yeah, I don't know if he actually made
What
it.
was he
home.
trying to achieve?
He was just trying to like meet up with his mates who were a little bit down here,
right,
and he didn't
okay.
want to go through the massive peak,
Right.
Laziness.
Yeah, basically.
and he
yeah.
and he paid for it. But that was literally the only dodgy bit of behaviour I saw.
Yeah. Well, such my excitement for this tournament. I've been looking at stuff for the last month, essentially, and I came across something the other day. It's something that's been spoken about before, potentially on a podcast, but I was interested to hear what you had to say about it, Pete. And even you guys as well, because obviously we've watched the Augusta and we've watched the Masters a lot. There's a question that was put to a couple of guys, I think, and it was basically, if you were in the field going in this week
Yeah.
and you were put 100...
Feeling good now. Yeah, thanks.
and you were put 100 yards away from the hole on every hole. So you started 100 yards away. That's all you had, every hole.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you can make the cut?
Well, I don't have to hit my driver, so that's excellent news.
It's a good start.
That's great. Unless it's wind into, and then I might have to.
Now, obviously, we're looking at par threes. You need to hit the green anyway, first shot. So you're thinking your par fours, you could be putting for eagles, and your par fives, you could be putting for albatrosses if you play it right. Now, the greens are the defence of Augusta. So it's not as simple as just whacking it on the green, because you could easily five whack.
Yeah,
You could put it in some water at some point.
Yeah.
But do you think you could make a cut over 2 rounds of golf? Do you reckon out of 100 yards you could do it?
What club do you hit 100?
Well, it depends on the type of shot that I'm going to play.
God, you're so cool.
Oh, Nick, it just shows what an inexperienced golfer you are.
Yep.
There's not one club that can hit 100 yards.
I
They are
lit-
simply tools to try and achieve your goal.
I'm bringing my 52-degree wedge and my putter, and that's it.
And my chipper.
my pink chipper.
Chipper.
I would back myself.
Yeah?
You would have the best chance out of all of us.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would.
I'd back myself.
I think you'd do it.
Do
I don't
do
think
I
you-
have a few weeks to practice? Or
Well,
am I
you
going
get to
straight
play,
there?
you're going into the field like everyone else.
You get to
so-
play the like a couple of practice rounds.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll take all my clubs for that as well.
Yeah,
That'd be
100%.
great.
Yeah. I'm just practicing for the tournament. I'm definitely playing in the same way as
There's
everyone
just like a
else.
little Peter Finch tee on every hole. Little mat, just
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, so the one thing about Augusta that it isn't a hard golf course.
No.
So if you were playing from like the members tee, say, so
Right.
if you're a normal golfer watching this every day, kind of weekend warrior, who regularly breaks 90, say,
Oh God, that would be nice.
if you were to go around there and break 100 off the members tees, like you'd have had an incredible round. Like you'd have done incredibly well, but it'd be possible.
Right. Okay.
It is literally the greens.
So it's
Yeah.
you think it's 10 shots harder than a regular golf course?
It's so much harder just because of how unbelievably fast and slopey the greens are.
Right. Okay.
So I'd say 110 if you break 90. Actually,
Right,
sorry,
okay, yeah,
getting
yeah.
a little bit carried away.
Yeah.
But if you're a scratch golfer, like I reckon you could back yourself to break 80 off the members tees. Again, this is members tees, not the backpack tees.
Yeah.
There were some greens though that I was around that I managed to get like green level, and I was thinking if I had my ball here, I just don't understand how they would get
Yeah.
up and
Exactly.
down.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they are honestly like the fringes and the grass around the greens are quicker than anything you're probably going to put on this year,
Wow.
Yeah.
and tighter.
Just absurd.
And then when you get on the green, the slopes, it's just like wow.
But you're still going with a yes.
Of course, I'm going to back myself.
Okay.
Just because hopefully someone at Augusta's seeing this and challenge accepted.
Let's make it happen.
18 hole course log at Augusta.
What's the
from 100
cut
yards.
usually like? I'm not.
It really
It varies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It varies so
Depends
much.
on the year. Depends on the weather.
When that didn't DJ win by like minus 20? or
Yeah,
something like that?
he won. He kind of battered it and
Yeah.
kind of broke the scoring
the-
record.
In 2020 when
The-
it was in October.
it was it was 20 under as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so-
because if it's wet beforehand, that's the key. So if it's a little bit wet beforehand and they can fly it into the greens and stop it,
Stop,
Yeah.
then they can really attack
Child's
it.
play
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
for them boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Talking of changes to where the tee positions would be, they've moved one of them much further back. Is it Azalea? What hole
Azalea,
is it?
Azalea,
It's 13th.
13th,
Yeah.
yeah.
What have they done to it?
They've just shoved it. Like I think it was 515, and I want to say it's going to be about 550 now.
Ooh.
So they've just moved it straight back into the trees.
So they've made it like 2 clubs longer.
There's gonna be some long irons into that green, isn't there?
Yeah, which is obviously how it was kind of designed.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. Like the 13th when I was there, considering it's year on year one of the easiest holes.
Yeah.
Par 5, 515. If you get a good drive,
For
get
them,
it,
that's nothing, is
Yeah.
it? Like,
it looks pretty tight from the tee. It has to be said. It doesn't look like an easy tee shot, but of course, these are the very best players in the world, and a lot of them can carry it straight over the corner,
Yeah.
and then it widens up. Moving it back further, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It will bring a little bit more of the original challenge where you're hitting a long iron off a big slope.
Yeah. Does it cut out the option? Maybe not for the big boys, but like, does it cut out the option for them to cut the corner?
Probably, because I think what they're going to do is move it back, and I think with the way that the angles of the hole works, if they wanted to cut the corner, like there's going to be trees just in their way straight away.
Right. Okay.
So they'd have to like
Yeah,
hit
because
it.
it's very from
narrow
what
shoot.
we've seen. It's like very
Yeah.
narrow.
There's no like spectators behind the tee, is there?
No,
It's
no.
so you never see it from how they would see it.
Yeah. So on the 11th, 12th, and 13th, basically you're looking at those holes. You can't get in behind
you
them.
keep to that side of it.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
yeah.
But it's going to bring. Do you remember when Mickelson hit that incredible tee shot out of the trees?
Yeah.
It's going to bring that patch of trees into play for the longer hitters.
Did he hit it too far into the corner?
Yeah, he hit it too
Yeah,
far.
yeah. So
Yeah.
hit it through the dog leg into
Right,
the trees,
okay, yeah,
then
yeah,
hit that amazing approach. So it's going to bring those trees definitely into play for the longer hitters, and if you are further back than there, it's a massively sloping line.
Yeah.
So it may force more people to lay up or hit dramatic shots in. It's a cracking hole. So obviously I'm a little bit more inclined to play holes as they were historically meant to be played.
Yeah.
And in this instance, it will make it play a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Because
it makes it makes the tee shot harder, but that second shot becomes even harder, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Much more risk reward as well. It's going to mean that more players are probably going to finish left of the green, which is going to make them chip down onto the downslope and go towards race crease.
So smart.
Because a lot of the time they're always sort of, if they do hit the green, sometimes the ball is ending up at the back of the green, isn't it? And now, so instead they're hitting they were hitting 8 irons, 7 irons there. Now they're going to hit.
Yeah, some were hitting mid irons.
Yeah, now they're going to be hitting 4 irons or 5 irons, sort of thing.
Makes it potentially more of an option as to play it as a 3-shotter as well.
Oh,
Because if people don't want to hit driver off the tee, which on it even a 540, 550 par 5 is not that bad for them. But if that driver is going into the trees, it's bringing those trees on the left into play as well. Can you go 3-wood? Can you go driving iron? Can you go 4 iron? And then take that extra shot to lay up?
Yeah.
It might be the best way to play it.
Yeah.
Or play it 4 iron and driver off the deck.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of DOD, love it.
Pete's like, that sounds like a good option.
see, that's what you should be asking. If I had to drive off the deck every tee shot, would I make the cut? The answer is, of course, yes.
You'd win the bloody they'd win the tournament.
I think wedges on par 5s around there is really not a bad idea. I think it was Trevor Immelman. I think he hit a wedge into every green. I think did Zach Johnson do the same as well? Every par 5, because the way that the slopes are as hard as they are. If you do have control over your ball, you can use them to bring the ball back to the pin. Yeah, which is why Sundays are generally so exciting because you can get these incredible shots.
Like the 16th.
Yeah,
that one
16th.
that goes round and it comes. I remember that. I just remember that Tiger one, innit? 2019. And he hits that great shot.
Yeah.
So
shall
good.
we get into our predictions, because we have a running majors draft picks for this year.
Yes, we do.
We'll put them up on the screen so you can see them, but just briefly, Pete has got John Rahm, Cameron Smith, Sam Burns, and Francesco Molinari. Kieran's got Zalatoris, Scheffler, Finau, and Brooks. Koepka. Jacob has Rory, Tom Kim, Hovland, and Moronk. And I have Matthew Fitzpatrick, Morikawa, Sungjae Im, and Rob McIntyre.
And the way this was working, we picked these kind of before major season. And the idea is that each of the 4 majors, the position you finish in the tournament is how many points that each of us get. So let's say, my team finishes 1 to 4. I'm going to get 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points.
Yep.
Obviously, a very low score. At the end of the year, the person with the lowest score wins.
Yep.
If your player misses the cut, the amount of points that you get will be added up to the amount of players who miss the cut.
What happens if your player doesn't get in the field?
You get the missed cut. So one of us already has a player who has not made it to the Masters.
Yes.
So unfortunately for Mick, Rob McIntyre has not made the Masters. So however many players miss the cut, if 50 players miss the cut, he's going to get a massive 50.
I'm just hoping that some of the other people miss the cut as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it won't be so bad that Mr. Robert didn't.
Yeah.
Just
bring it home.
Just as a point to that, if people who weren't here when we picked them, the players such as Moronk, McIntyre, Molinari, Brooks weren't picked because we really thought we had to pick someone outside of the top 50.
That's our wild card pick. Yeah.
So that's our wild card pick.
You had 3 people who you thought you were going to do really well in the majors this year, and then you had 1 wild card who had to be outside of the top 50 when we made the picks. So that's why we've got that's why you've got Brooks, clearly, because you don't think he's going to win. Right?
I'm staying quite
right. I must be honest. I think, obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but apart from my boy Francesco, I'd say that I've got them.
No,
I think I've got the strongest team.
I disagree with it. I disagree.
Unfortunately, I disagree with you also.
I've literally
I agree with you.
I've got the favourite. I've got a top 10 who's been top 10 for the last 4 or 5 years in Tony Finau. We've got Brooks Koepka, who's a major master,
right,
and is hitting a bit of form. And then you got Will Zalatoris, who was amazing last year. But
I see it as Will Zalatoris, who hasn't played and is injured at the minute and cannot putt. Scottie Scheffler, fair enough. Tony Finau,
top 10.
Nothing this year.
Top 10. He's always top 10.
No, that's fine. He's good at getting top tens, but you can't. He's not won recently. He's not had the best of form coming into it. And then you've got Brooks, who was absolutely awful, and now he's just won.
Nah, don't.
Could be a fluke, mate.
Poppycock.
Poppycock,
yes.
Wow.
You swallowed an old English
Yeah,
dictionary.
what do you think about that, Jacob? That poppycock burn that he's just thrown your way.
I mean, I'm coming off the back of basic. I've got Rory, and that's it.
Yeah,
I think Hovland's your only other bet.
It's all right. Yeah.
Tom Kim could
No,
come
he's
through.
too short.
I think Tom Kim and Hovland so far this year,
As in
just
length, not height.
Little people don't win it.
yeah, Tom Kim, Hovland, Moronk haven't. I mean, just not been. I think that for me is a team that could do really well, like for the rest of the year. It's just they're not in form.
It's not there.
Same with your team, really.
Your first three could be the final group.
Honestly,
couldn't it?
I said at the start.
If you have Rahm, Smith, and Burns in the final group, you're like
I am
guaranteed.
I said the
very
start,
low points.
I said at the start of the year, Sam Burns is my boy. He's going to start winning big things.
Yeah.
He smashes the match play, and here he is getting that green jacket.
Just in time.
Beat Scottie Scheffler as well, didn't he, in the semis to get through to, and then beating
Cam
Sam.
Young.
So anyway,
Cam.
big sign player.
The big ones that we haven't got here that we're missing. So obviously, no one's got like Homer. That's a big one
That
that
is a
no
big
one's
one.
got.
Yeah.
No one's got Cam Young, which is a big one. And there was another one in there, Xander Schauffele, I want to say.
Yeah.
There's
He
another
is
person
gonna
who's
be-
not in there who I will be bringing up later as well.
Okay.
Who, yeah,
Is it Tommy Fleetwood?
it's not.
But that gets us our Tommy Fleetwood mention for this
Oh, he was going
podcast.
to be brought in at some point.
Yeah, ticked him off. Yeah, I think Fitzpatrick, like I have Fitzpatrick, Morikawa, Sanjay Im. I think Sanjay Im and Morikawa, like I have some hope. Fitzpatrick hasn't quite got running yet.
Not really.
Morikawa's going to be a big one this year.
Yes, he's my like I feel like I could be in the like all of them could be in the top 20.
Yeah.
Which would be great. But Rob McIntyre, you flaming Egypt.
Yeah, he won't be in the top 20.
Bro, he
No,
could
I think he's actually going to miss out on the top 20
Do you
this year.
reckon?
could he have qualified if he had won was it the Texas or the Valspar?
He wasn't in it.
No, he wasn't even in it. So Joker.
He basically knew that
Yeah.
he wasn't going to make it. He's like, you know what? I'm going to really annoy Mick. I'm just not even going to turn up.
Come on, Rob.
I'm not going to bother.
Right, in the next 3 majors, Rob, let's do it.
Oh, boy.
You
Love
got
it.
to win them all.
Love it.
So yes, but our team prediction outside of our game, our team prediction, I think Jason Day's a great
Jason Day's our big one, yeah.
bet. You think Justin Rose is going to win?
Stick your flag in someone we haven't mentioned before. Who's someone that we might not have said that you think is going to be?
Can I have Justin Rose?
Yeah, you can have Justin. That's fine.
Justin Rose is going to be waving my flag. Little roses all over it.
I've got to put Homer in there. Like
Okay.
we haven't been speaking about it. It's
Okay.
got to be Homer.
Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas. Okay.
Justin
I think he was the other one not mentioned.
Yeah, that was another one I
Justin
mentioned. Yeah.
Thomas.
Justin Thomas.
I have someone,
Go.
and I have data to back it up.
Oh,
and
so
I'm very excited to share.
so Jacob, if you didn't know this already, Jacob is a nerd when it comes to the golf statistics. So all this morning while we were working on one of the videos that's about to come out, we were planning the podcast, we were getting ready to record this, talking about the Masters, hanging out with Murph, whatever. Jacob was like, shh, I'm working really hard on these stats. So if you're watching the video version of the podcast, Jacob has made about 5 or 6 pages of statistical notes to share with us who he thinks is going to win the Masters.
When was the last time you wrote that much down?
With your actual
A
hand.
long
Actual
time.
hand,
It
yeah.
actually, my
It
hand
hurts.
still hurts a little bit. Yeah.
I had to go to a museum to get a pen.
I can't remember.
You know when you
last,
first start writing and your hand is just not with it, like
Yeah.
you're just like. Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
that's
remember how to do an F.
a stone.
What do you do an F?
I do mine a little bit differently to other people as well. So
Oh,
but we can
see,
get into
actually.
that. It's all right.
Stone Age iPad, that mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like a bit of pen and paper.
Yeah, pen and
though,
paper is
Okay,
the best
right.
way forward.
Talk to
So
us.
I went. This is obviously going into looking for bets and things like that. We've established that with me, but I was looking at kind of what are the metrics and what are the areas of data that people kind of what's the trends we like to see going around Augusta. And one of the big ones, excuse me, that was coming back continually was scoring on par fours. Now the par fives are notoriously known to be the ones that you kind of get your shots on, the more birdieable holes. But if you can play your par fours to par, or even if you can make your birdies off par fours, that's where you can really
Right.
increase yourself on the field.
Because in theory, almost everyone is birdieing par fives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Just as a start of a stat, so the last 10 winners have all been T7 or above in par 4 scoring after the week. Okay? But if you look at the winners going into that week, there's only 2 players in the last 10 years that have been outside the top 11 par 4 scorers. So just a quick rundown. So Scheffler going into the week was 5th, and this is PGA Tour. Hideki was 87th. He's the one anomaly in here.
Wow, yeah.
Dustin Johnson 2nd, Tiger Woods 11th, Patrick Reed 7th, Sergio Garcia, the other one, 50th, Danny Willett 2nd, Jordan Spieth 1st, Bubba Watson 5th.
Right.
So out of all those, there's only 2 that have been outside the top 11 of par 4 scoring.
Okay.
Is that,
So
is
I
that in the
thought
PGA Tour?
That's on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, so I'll go and have a look and see who's doing the same thing
Who
this year.
fulfills that statistic
Exactly.
now?
So these are the top 10. Some of them aren't in the field, but you've got Cantlay, Rahm, Montgomery, Battia, Homer, Hovland, Dietrich, Tom Hoagie, Kevin Yu, and Cameron Young. Those are your top 10 this year.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that's quite nice. There's some names there that I don't mind.
Is that Akshay Bhatia?
Yes.
Dude, he's good.
Yeah. 4th.
Yeah. What a guy.
So I thought, okay, well, let's extend it a little bit further because it's not just about par 4 scoring. I mean, there's obviously other things to do with it. So I thought, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find the last 5 winners, and I'm going to find out the averages for what I think is going to be the most important things. So for driver distance, these are the last 5 champions of the Masters. In the driving distance, 22nd. Driving accuracy, also 22nd. Greens in reg, 6th. Ball striking, 14th. Putts per greens in reg, 10th. Putting birdie or better percentage, 17th. Bogey avoidance, 5th. Par 3 scoring, 15th. Par 4 scoring, 2nd. And par 5 scoring, 11th.
You're frying my brain
Yeah.
right
No,
now.
literally,
Data.
Wait, go back 2 seconds. What, that
Yeah, who was that on? What was that
Yeah,
about?
what's that
So this is the last 5 champions of Augusta.
Right.
And I've taken their scores, their driving distances, all those metrics I've just read out now, and those are the averages of where in the field
of those 5 people.
of those
in
people
in the Masters,
in the
or
Masters,
in the PGA
in the
Tour?
last 5 Masters.
Yeah.
So I've gone from that data to find out, is there anyone who is averaging close to those metrics already on the PGA Tour this year?
Right.
Okay. And there is one person who meets all of them but 2. One of them is just outside, and the second one could be an issue, but I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the person's name, but I'm going to tell you how they meet up. So for driving distance, the average was 22nd for the Masters. They are 22nd in the field at the minute. Driving accuracy is 22nd. They are 30th. That's the one of them they're outside.
Yeah.
But that's the one I'm not too worried
too
about.
much of an issue.
Because
Yeah.
if you can be accurate pretty consistently and you can have a good day, could get up there.
Yeah.
Greens in reg, 6th for the last 5 Masters champions. They're 5th. Ball striking, 14th. He is currently 3rd.
Wow.
Putts per green in reg, 10th. He's 14th. That's another one. Putting birdie or better percentage, 17th for the last 5. He is 2nd this year on the PGA Tour. Bogey avoidance, 5th is the average, and he is also 5th this year. Par 3 scoring, and this is the big one. This is the one, but I don't think I'm worried too much about it. 15th was the average. He is currently 179th in the field.
Oh my God!
So
that's
that's the stinky one.
God.
But then his par 4 scoring, he's the average was 2nd. He's 1st going in this year.
Okay.
And par 5 scoring, 11th. He is also 1st this year.
What's happened to this guy on par 3s? I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Can we make?
He needs
like
new wedges.
Can we make like a prediction?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's Kurt Kitayama. That's my guess.
Okay.
I would say Justin Thomas.
Ooh.
I was going to say JT. I'm going to go John Rahm.
You're all wrong.
Okay.
It's not one of them.
Here's.
It's Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, no.
Patrick Cantlay.
God. Oh, Patrick Cantlay and Scottie Scheffler
In the final
group.
I was just thinking that.
And you know what? When we were talking about earlier, saying about there's players that if they get ahead, he is one of those guys that if he gets ahead of the field, he usually is pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty merciless, isn't he?
But I thought that's really interesting. Now, obviously, the 179th on par 3 scoring is a bit
That's bad.
stinky.
Well, yeah, I was talking about the 12th looking really easy. For
Yeah.
him, it's going to look so hard.
That's a long hole for him.
Yeah.
that's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, you're
is,
happy with that?
That's one of
Wow.
the most impressive research tasks I've ever seen
So-
completed.
Yeah, that was very good.
You do
So
dissertation on
for
it.
who I think is going to win, I'm going to go with Patrick
Patrick
Cantlay.
Cantlay, get your money on.
So that's who I'm, yeah. And I thought, just as a little thing, because we love Jason Day for this year, I wanted to see how he actually trended out as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'll run quickly through what I think is quite good. But his bogey avoidance, he's second this year on the tour.
Wow.
Scramble putter is the best.
Yeah.
So
Unreal.
Yeah.
par 4 scoring, he's 4th this year.
Wow.
Which,
That's very good.
coming back to what I said before about par 4 scoring going into the Masters, very, very good. His ball striking, he's 9th. Which, ball striking, how do you...
Yeah, what is the metric?
I
What
don't
are they
know.
measuring?
Pin high.
No, it's
Pin highness.
Your Royal Pin Highness.
there's a guy that follows every group around. Is like, strike that all right. He's like, yeah. Is that good? Yeah. So, out of 10, 8. Okay.
How did it feel off the face?
Yeah.
I think that should be your retirement job. You would be great at that.
I just strike it. All right. Can I spray some athlete's foot powder just before you hit this?
Can I just put these dots on that iron, please?
You would be brilliant at that.
His birdie or better putting percentage, he's 19th this year. 17th was the average, so
Okay.
pretty good. The only ones really, like, he doesn't look bad for any of them, really. The only part which is not a surprise to me is the driving distance, the driving accuracy, and the par 5 scoring, which obviously kind of sort of go in hand in hand a little bit. Yeah. But he's 62nd for driver distance, so it's not shocking.
It's not bad. Just
Just
He
average.
still shifts it.
He still gives it a whack.
Yeah, it's not particularly short, is it? It's just not quite.
So all in
it's
all,
not quite Rory, is it?
looking pretty good.
Very, very
Okay,
good.
so there you go. That was actually
research.
amazing.
Good research.
Very, very good, mate.
Sorry, I'm not
Clapping
going to
in the
read this
background.
one because I'm not going to take any more time. But I thought, whilst I had this, I was going to find out how Tommy Fleetwood looked. I'm not reading it out. It's not great.
no, Tommy!
It's bad.
It's not great.
Come
Oh,
on,
good
Tommy.
year.
Come on, Tommy.
It seems quite bad. How has he got in? Is he in the top 50?
He's 26th in the world.
How is he? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He's just
How
so
dare
he's so
you.
consistent. He almost won literally a few weeks ago.
Oh, right.
Come on, come on.
He's
Tom.
got-
And honourable mention to Max Homer as well, who your
Yeah,
guys
he's
does
gotta
rank
be-
out. He does
Yeah.
rank out
I was
well.
about to say, he's got to be up there.
Yeah, he does rank out well.
It'd be interesting to see how to make more work for you. What Scotty and
Yeah, could you
all
do that for
those-
everyone?
Rory, yeah, certainly Rory and Rahm.
I've done Rory.
Oh, what's Rory then?
So
Pick one on Rory. then we'll move on.
Rory actually doesn't rank out great as well. So driver distance, he's first in the PGA Tour.
Of course, yeah.
Standard.
Driving accuracy, 188th. But
He
Still two.
didn't have a good start
No.
to the year, did he?
that's the
Yeah.
thing.
And he's
So
taken half an
he
inch off
he
that
has had
shaft as well, lad.
a bit of stinky accuracy this year. But anyway, greens in reg, 140th this year.
He's been scrambling a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been shopping it about.
I think he's a bit of a chopper. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball striking, 104th,
Yep.
which is 14th was the average.
I'd strike Rory.
Putts per greens in reg, 145th.
Oh my
which again,
God.
putting birdie or better percentage, 53rd.
Mm-hmm.
Bogey avoidance, 32nd this year. Par 3 scoring 79th. Par 4 scoring 78th. Par 5 scoring 4th.
Yeah, but I think that's where maybe the stats
Yeah.
probably don't quite paint a full picture because he is coming into form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
have you ever seen Moneyball?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a complete understanding of the statistics is great, but on one day you can't predict. Or,
Yeah.
on a weekend you can't predict what's going to happen
Great
based
film,
on
by the
stats.
way.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Jonah Hill and
What- yeah.
Brad Pitt.
One of my favourite films ever.
Great film.
Wonderful.
Cool, awesome. Well, that's very, very good, Jacob.
Very,
Thank you.
very good,
Yeah.
mate.
Well, that
very
was
much.
excellent.
So again, the victory lap I'll be taking on Patrick Cantley when he wins on
Yeah.
Sunday is going to be humongous.
Yeah. I saw that also. The the guy who hit that shot from outside the Dunvegan, Harrison, something, Australian
Harrison
guy,
Crowe.
Crowe.
Oh,
He's in the field.
The Eric Anders Lang video.
Yes, he's playing, and I also heard that he got into the Open as well.
Yeah, he won an amateur event, which gets him. There's like certain amateur events each year, like the British. That if you win that, you get invites into the Masters, into the Open.
But that's incredible.
Yeah, there is also like a Masters amateur prize, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, called
Just
low
checking that.
amateur.
Silver
Really?
medal. Silver medal.
No, that's the Open.
Oh.
That's the one that they entrusted me to carry around last year.
No way.
I'll never forget that.
That's so
You
cool.
carried round what?
So I've not talking at the Open last year.
You don't tell us anything. Actually, don't tell us anything.
Listen,
ever to get
it's because I can't remember until it just springs into my memory. Last year we did some filming just about the amateurs who are in the field at the Open, and like one of the RNA peeps came over and said, "Oh, do you want to do some filming like with the silver medal?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." So they gave us the silver medal that they present to the amateurs. So I was looking at it and I was showing everybody and like chatting about it, blah blah blah. Turn around and RNA person had gone.
Oh, sugar.
So you were just
and
holding
you're like,
it.
oh, I'm holding the baby.
Yeah. Bear in mind, this is no one else is on the range. So all the players have gone out. So I'm just like at the end, like tidying up a few things.
Shove it in your pocket and nap off.
I'm just stood there at the range, the open on the range on my own, pretty much, like with the silver medal that's going to be
security,
presented. No, and it's going to be presented like to the winner, to the low amateur, in a few hours, and I'm like, I don't know what to do at this rate.
This year's low amateur. And you're like, oh bloody hell, where's Pete?
He's
got the medal.
Running down the 18th.
I'm
coming! I got it here!
It's just been the Dunvegan had 6 pints. Yeah. Showing everyone. Yeah.
Oh, lost I saw Dave at it. He wandered out.
Yeah, using it as a coaster.
Yeah. The only last time I remember something like that happening was when we were at the Desert Classic and they gave you the Omega watch that was the hole-in-one.
Oh yeah, the hole-in-one prize.
But you had that for the week. You just wore it.
How do you get this stuff? It's absurd.
I don't know. I must have a trustworthy face.
You have you hold this for a second face.
Did anyone get a hole-in-one?
No.
I was going to say.
But we filmed with Danny Willett and he
slam dunked
it and it popped out.
Yeah. He took the whole hole out of the hole, didn't it?
Imagine that at the end. Just like, here you go, Danny, I've been wearing this all week.
That is cool.
It's a bit sweaty.
That is cool for Harrison, though. I remember watching that video, and I mean, no disrespect, obviously he swings it great, but like I didn't realise he was that good.
Yeah, so
Great player.
I think he just happened to be, in the pub when they were trying to find someone to do something absurd.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I could definitely give it a go. And I didn't think they knew even then that he was as good as he is.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this video, he's a Harrison lad who hits the shot. He hits a ball from outside.
On the pavement.
On the pavement, outside, over the buildings, onto the 18th green.
Yeah.
Cue mass celebrations of all everyone having a boozer in the Dunvegan.
Great video. Great video.
A lot of pints. And the reason I remembered is because I was going through the Masters app, which you should all make sure you have it, because now's the one time of the year that you cannot let it go to the picture of the little cloud because you need it.
You have to update it though.
You do. You'd have to update it because otherwise it has last year's field and they just screw.
Yeah, I was getting really confused.
You were. But you can go through and star the players who you want. You want to see the coverage was. And I was like, hey, that's the guy from the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a guy from the thing who did the thing. It's the guy with the guy.
Hey, it's the video dude. So we've gone very long, but that's fine. We have got a little picture round, which if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to participate in. If you are listening, maybe this will be cut out, maybe it won't be. We're not really completely sure, but we're going to go and do a picture-related quiz for which I'm going to commandeer the screen behind you, Jacob.
Oh, I'm going to have to turn around.
You are.
Oh, I'm going to crick my neck.
Love that word. Commandeer.
We've had some great words today.
Yeah.
Can you remember what you said?
Yeah, antagonist.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm getting better.
Very good.
I'm getting better.
Very, very good.
I downloaded the crossword app after our adventures in the car.
Yes.
On our long drives this week, we were basically doing crosswords in the car
That's quite nice.
To keep Pete up.
Yeah, to keep me awake.
While he was living snoring in the back.
Yes.
Yeah. team player over here.
Away with the fairy.
Literally, he was in deep REM when I look back.
Listen, I would wake up, I would give you the answer to the one you couldn't get, and then I'd go back to sleep again.
Yeah, that was 4 crosswords ago now.
Scottie Scheffler. That's Scottie Scheffler.
No, don't ruin the game.
Is that a point?
No, it's not a point.
Oh.
Okay, so what I have done is I've taken some famous moments, scorecards, famous pictures from Masters of years gone by, and have...
incredibly awkward for me.
Yeah, it's
Hang
fine.
on.
You have to turn around.
Rotation might be required.
I'm ready.
Right, okay, perfect. I'm sure this camera can now see the screen.
That's now perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, great. So I've taken some previous Masters moments and removed the names and removed any clues from the photo, and you guys, as a trio, are going to work out which player or players we have missed.
Okay, so play along at home if you are watching.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is photo number
Is it what? Is it buzzers or like what?
No. You're
No,
working
working
as a
as a
team.
team.
You're
Oh, nice.
detectives.
Oh, cool.
This is photo number 1. I want to know the year of the tournament. I want to know the 3 players on the left-hand side.
Good leaderboard, that.
My boy Kepka's up there.
Yeah, that is 2019.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at Tiger,
Yep. Molinari.
Molinari,
Finau.
That is... Oh, you didn't even need the clue. Here's the clue.
They were on.
The scores at the end of the day. And here we go. Molinari, Finau and Woods.
Well done,
Nice.
everybody. Well done, everybody.
Well done.
Spectacular. The 2019 Masters, Molinari, Finau and Woods. Molinari leads Woods and Finau by 2 shots going into the final round.
Oh, we're going to try and not look at all the answers you just put up on screen
no.
there, Rory. Look at
Yeah,
that.
don't look. Look over here.
Wow.
Maybe I'll overdub them afterwards.
Flip it,
What a nightmare. Right, we'll go to the next one.
Wow. What a quiz master.
We'll go to the next one. Right, here we go. We should probably start this again now, shouldn't we? Why is it gone off that? Oh, here we go. Right, this is the next one. So you can see their scores here. They shot 64, 67, 70 and 70.
It's Jordan Spieth.
Which is apparently the lowest 72-hole score in Masters
I'm
history.
going to say Jordan Spieth as well.
Do you know?
Tell by that blue top, blue hat.
Oh yeah.
So
That's his mum.
The reason I've cut off the top is because you can see who it is in this photo. It's Jordan Spieth at the 2015 Masters.
Cut off the top because you can see his mum.
You can see his mum, Jordan's mum. Right, for the audio people, I'm going to read it out. So
don't look away.
I needed this on my phone, really, didn't I?
Yeah, you should tell us when you're going to pop it up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I'm going to pop it up, so don't look. During the final round, Spieth briefly had a score of 19 under, but bogeyed the final hole, resulting in him tying Tiger Woods' 1997 score record at 18 under. Spieth set the record for the most birdies during the Masters, making 28, and became the second youngest person to win the Masters. His victory was the first wire-to-wire Masters victory since Raymond Floyd in 1976.
Wow. There
Love
you go.
that.
Sheesh. Exceptional.
We
Right.
look back.
You're on your next one. Go.
You'd instantly think Tiger Woods, wouldn't you?
Nah.
I think that might be a bit back in the day. That definitely looks a bit...
Old school, BBC style.
yeah.
So we've got they are the leader after 18 holes. They shot 72, 74, 68 and 68 for a total of 6 under. Would you like your clue?
Go on then.
Yeah, let's have a clue.
Yeah.
Bernard Langer.
Hey.
I thought he had Bernard Langer vibes.
It is Big Bernie. Right, look at me so I can read out my spiel. So in his first major win, Langer won by 2 strokes of a runners-up, and there's some names in here: Seve Ballesteros, Curtis Strange, and Raymond Floyd. Langer, aged 27 and dressed in red, birdied 4 of the last 7 holes to win the green jacket. The second champion from Europe, he had consecutive rounds of 68 on the weekend to become the first winner of a major from Germany. And Langer then won his second green jacket 8 years later.
And he's still going.
And he's going to knock around, isn't he, this weekend?
He's unreal.
Lad. Okay, here we go. You're on your next one. A rainy Masters. We've got both scores from each round, from the first 9 and the second 9.
Do you know what that looks like? I want to say Adam Scott.
I
don't think he won in the rain, did he?
I think he did win in the rain.
Yeah. I might back you up there, mate. I think I might go Adam Scott as well.
Do you know why I only know this? And I'm going to be really quick on this, but he did a podcast recently where, or I saw an interview as well, where on his final putt, he he was reading the green and he thought it was only 1 cup, breaking right to left, and then Steve Williams, he comes over and he's like, mate, it's 2. It's like definitely 2, and he was like, are you sure? He's like, it's 2.
Wow.
And then holds the putt. It's unbelievable.
Love that.
Only found that out the other day. But yeah, it will turn out it's probably not him.
No, I think you're right. I think it's Scott.
Adam Scott?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
The reason I've left that little box there
His
is
logo,
because
is it?
on his back is his giant, great big Adam Scott logo.
Yeah.
So turn around. Oh, no, wait, that's not right. That's the next one. Here we go. So, yes, Adam Scott in the final round played in cold and steady rain. Third round co-leader Brand Snedeker fell out of contention with a 75. Jason Day had the lead with 3 holes to go, but bogeyed the 16th and 17th holes to finish in third place.
Yeah.
Adam Scott and Angel Cabrera both birdied the 72nd to finish tied. Scott won the playoff on the second hole to claim his first and only green jacket.
Yeah, it was on the 10th.
What was it? Come on, Aussie! He was shouting as he brandished those guns.
That's so weird. I watched that yesterday.
It's the only time an Australian has won the Masters after producing 9 Australian runners-up.
Amazing.
And this year there will be another.
Yes, there will. Come on, Jason Day. Okay, you go.
Okay.
This is a hard one.
Len Matisse. Wow, look at that.
I haven't. There's obviously someone above that, isn't there?
That's the winner at the top.
Yeah.
The winner from Len Matisse.
I don't know. I know names of old
Well, hit us with
Masters winners.
Hit us with an old name.
Can I just shout some names out and you say?
You can have one. Go.
Marco Mira.
What's that guy who won in 2003?
Does this look? Does this,
Trevor Immelman.
Trevor Immelman?
bro, does this look like 2003
That's
graphics?
like
maybe
2000.
not. Yeah.
I'm going to
Larry
go.
Mize.
Do you want your clue?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, by playoff hole.
Is it Nick Faldo?
It's not Nick Faldo.
No.
Here you go. You ready?
I don't know.
You didn't get this one.
I don't know.
Mike Weir.
Weir.
Mike Weir.
Take us home with a guess the player. Have you got a Masters edition for us,
I
Kieran?
do have a Masters edition, and I'd say that this player. I got to introduce the game first, and
have.
Right, am I going to do this without script or no?
Do it with the script.
Do it with the script.
Do it with the script. I think the script becomes part of this.
Yeah.
You think that the script now has to become
For everyone's sake.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
I think you know exactly what we're trying to say.
You lack the ability to vamp.
Lack the ability to vamp. I just need to find it quickly. Thank you very much. Guess the player. Here we go.
Okay.
Right. Welcome, everybody, to Guess the Player, a segment we do here every week on the Rough Cut Golf podcast. Each week, I pick a player and rattle off facts about this specific person, ranging from hard to easy clues. You all have one life and your unique buzzer. Jacob's is.
Get in the hole.
Peter's is. Mick's is.
Cool, blimey.
Excellent. And the current standings are?
4-4-1.
4-4-1. Right, indeed. And yeah, right, let's get into it.
It's like our striker got sent off and we're having to...
Yeah, you've got
Here he
your
is.
number 9. Right, okay, here we go. So, because it's Masters, I'm going to give he is a winner. This is a winner of the Masters. I am a winner of the Masters.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say something.
You want to go straight out the gate?
You want to go straight out the gate?
We get one
No.
life each. Don't we?
Nah, don't go straight out
I'm
the
not going
gate.
to. I'm not going to.
Right. So, when I was 19 years old, I turned professional midway through my sophomore year.
Okay.
What?
Does that mean it's
I don't know. We have just spoken about.
someone going to college?
It's your
Yeah.
third year, I think, because it's freshman, junior,
And he was 19.
sophomore,
And it was 19.
senior.
Yeah. Mate, I'd go for it, mate. You just lose your life. Go for it. Do it.
Wait, what? You've got someone?
Cool, blimey.
What do you mean you've got someone already?
Tiger Woods.
No.
Oh,
It's worth an effort.
yeah, it was.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I was willing
Because
to
I just rattled off those very similar facts
Yeah,
for the.
Sure, yeah.
No.
I was willing
Right.
to let you sacrifice
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh,
there.
thanks. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah,
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks for taking one for the team.
Now my health bar is flashing.
I have won 3 DP World Tour events.
European.
Nah, it doesn't mean that.
Doesn't
No,
mean
European
that.
tour.
Doesn't mean
Yeah,
it.
it's a European tour.
Could I be tricking you? Could I not? I don't know.
I really want to go for someone because I feel like you've picked this person, but I don't.
Go for it. Yeah, that's what your life's for.
No.
Okay.
Unless you've seen what I do. I always worry you've seen my bloody thing. I need to be better at it.
By that he means the clues and the answer,
Yeah.
not something else.
I need to move further back.
You do.
Right. I was the only golfer in the family. I've come from a long line of athletes. My mother was an athlete. My father was an athlete. My brother was an athlete. But I'm the only golfer.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The only golfer.
So it's not Brooks Koepka.
Is that who you were going to say?
No.
He's definitely not won the Masters.
No.
Chopper.
Yet.
That's why I thought Kieran was going to set it up. Like,
It's Brooks because he's going to win this year.
At anyone want to guess?
No.
At 14 years old, I correctly predicted that I was going to win the Masters.
Oh, wow.
After
That's a
speaking
baller move,
to a
that is.
local newspaper.
Do you know what that is? That's like, in fact, we played golf yesterday and Kieran's like, I'm going to drive this green. And then he did drive the green.
and then he did it.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like a hole in one here and then you get a hole in one.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a move.
Drive the green up the 14th at Didsbury, win the Masters.
Right.
Same level.
Next clue. At the age of 16, I became the 6th youngest player to make the cut at a PGA Tour event in the 2010 Byron Nelson Championship.
Do you think you've got someone?
Ooh,
I can see your cogs down.
Yeah, maybe. That's throwing me a little bit, actually.
Has it?
Wait.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's gone.
Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
Yes.
Is that who you were guessing as well?
I thought it was on. Yeah, it was kind of who I was thinking of, but that last one just threw me. Then I don't know why.
Yeah. So the free the free DP World Tours are just his majors.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I was thinking. It was a trick. Yeah.
Oh, that is sneaky.
they count for both. So
Well, there you go.
Now I feel like you tricked us.
Well,
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like I ordered a Peroni and you brought me an Amstel.
don't bring this up.
right, but let's not get into that. I mean, I could have gone into the fact that obviously he's from the University of Texas, but like that's what I normally do. I normally say like the
That
colleges
would've
and everything
given
like
it.
but that would have just given it away straight away. So
Very involved.
But no, it's
Yeah.
very good. So scores are 5 to me, 4 to Jacob, and 1 to Mick across the year. But there is a long way to go.
There's a lot of time.
There's a
it's
lot of time to
it's
make
a
it up.
marathon, not a sprint.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a 72-hole
Instead of
tournament.
sprint, not marathon.
Very good. Very good.
Isn't the saying it's
No,
a
you got the saying right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's a
You got the
marathon,
saying
not a
right.
marathon, not a sprint?
For when
Oh,
It's a sprint, not a
yeah.
marathon.
For when you
Yeah.
for when you don't see results immediately, you have
Yeah.
to continue
Right.
working hard.
got you.
But if you were watching, say, a 100-meter race,
Yeah.
that would be
That'd be
the
a
sprint.
sprint.
That would be a sprint, not a
So-
marathon. So you
There
should
we
run as
go.
quickly as you can at the beginning.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And we here at the Rough Cut Golf Podcast hope you have a fantastic Masters week. Let's hope it's a wonderful tournament to watch and it really does get those juices flowing for what will be your best year of golf on record. That is my sincere hope. That is the hope of everyone here at Finch Golf Media. So, wherever you're listening to, wherever you're watching, have a wonderful evening, have a fantastic night, and wake up tomorrow in the knowledge that the Masters is only a few days away.
I'm hyped.
Unbelievable.
I'm so ready.
Let's go!
Literally, my hairs are standing up.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye-bye. See you.